I love duologies. I feel like they are the perfect length for a book to give you all of the world building and character development that you need, while also not being so long that it feels like they're dragging on. In romantasy duologies especially, you really get to know the characters, you get to feel the tension and that slow burn, but also get some payoff when it comes to the couple being together, and it is literally one of my favorite things. So today I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite romantasy duologies, as well as give you a couple that are currently on my TBR. A common trend in romantasy is having duologies within a series, so like 2 books following one couple, but the plot thread kind of continues within the next 2 books follow another couple. I have a lot of recommendations for those today because it's literally one of my favorite things. The first one that I want to mention is a book that does not get enough love. This couple needs to be shouted about. It needs everyone to read about them because they are everything, and that is Camilla and Nico from The House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. This one is following Camilla, and she is the heiress to a train empire, but things are not really going as well as they would hope, and so she is due to be married off to a guy in order to boost their status and get money in the family. But Nico swoops in and says he has a better offer and he thinks that she should take it. This is a somewhat enemies to lovers romantasy with amazing banter, super unique world building, a cool magic system. This is like steampunk, think Peaky Blinders, but also with magic, and it's just so unique, so different, something that I don't see a lot of, and I am living for these two together. It has knife to the throat, it has amazing banter, but also the arranged marriage trope, which I didn't realize I loved until recently, but I love it. Then we have The Everking by L.J. Andrews. This is a duology within a series as well, and it is following The Serpent and the Songbird and is a pirate romantasy. The undersea fae have been on the outs with the earth fae for many, many years. They can't go in, they can't trade with them, and their lands are dying. Eric decides that in order to get revenge and avenge his father, he is going to steal away the princess of the earth fae and take her to the land of the sea fae. This is a enemies to lovers romantasy that I really enjoyed the first book. I gave this like a 3.5, 4 star, but I enjoyed the second book even more because it brought in some really great plot, world building, some richness that I was missing in the first book. I think this duology is incredible, and I'm very excited to continue on in the series because we do have another couple coming up next. One that everyone knows about, I feel like, is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Carissa Broadbent is just like a staple in this type of setting. I love this duology. I will take no critiques, no questions. It is amazing, and if you have not read it yet, why not? I don't really feel like I have to go into a lot of detail about what this is about, but it is a trials with vampires where we're following Araya, who is a human in the vampire world and is trying to win these trials in order to get a lot of power and make herself safer and worthy of the vampires that she lives with. It is just so incredible. Araya is strong and powerful while also being able to be vulnerable around Rain, and I just, oh, this couple, it's so good. Such great banter, but also such great moments. I cannot wait to read about Mish and see what the next trilogy has in store because that's coming out in November. On to some completed duologies, books that are true duologies that are now finished. The first is Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither, and this is a really unique romantasy as well. We are following Karis, who is an elf, and elves used to be the middle gods. They used to have a lot of power and were able to run the lands, but they were found to be unworthy by the gods, demoted down to basically below humans. The gods created the humans and middle gods, or Mar, to take their place, and they've been kind of banished down ever since. Karis is part of the rebellion. They're trying to get revenge and deal with the humans and the middle gods that oppress them. They hate the Mar. One day something goes wrong and she ends up getting taken captive by the fire god. This has great banter as well. I loved the setting in here. We have a alternate like god realm that I think is really cool. It has a great found family aspect to this as well. The first 30 to 40% of this book was a little rough for me. I had some difficulties getting through it, but once you got through the first little bit where it was kind of overtelling things, loved the banter between these two, thought it was so much fun. Then we have another one that everyone knows about that I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but that is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This has card magic, vibes galore, and is perfect for the fall. I'm a Twisted Crowns girly. I think that the second book is even better than the first book, but if you haven't read this duology yet, I would strongly recommend it, especially right now. It is perfectly in season. Then for a couple of duologies that are not yet completed, but I have read the first book and really enjoyed, the first is The Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. She also has a duology within a series that is is The Bridge Kingdom that I also enjoyed. This is her newer release that it is Viking inspired. We follow a woman that does not realize that she has power, but is told that she is part of a prophecy and is the shield maiden that is going to help the Viking clans take over and become the most powerful, essentially. So she's very, very sought after in this war. I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4-star. I felt like the romance sometimes took a little while to like kick off, but once they got together and things started to get moving, it's brutal. It has good world building. It has really fun characters, and I would strongly recommend this, especially if you're looking for something different in the romantasy world. Then we have The Heartless Hunter. This one is a young adult romantasy following a witch and the witch hunter that is out to get her, and it's just so good. This one is a ton of fun. It has, again, great banter, enemies to lovers vibes. The next book in the series does come out in January. I think Fate Inked in Blood comes out in March, but I'm dying for the sequel. I cannot wait to know what happens. There's betrayal, and it's just so good. We also have The Jasad Heir. This one I am tentatively recommending because I liked but didn't love this one. It just didn't stick with me as well as I wanted it to, but it is also a secret heir, enemies to lovers, rebellion, revolution type plotline. The second book does come out next year, and I will be trying it, especially since this is just a duology. But if those are tropes that you really enjoy, and this is also Egyptian inspired, which makes it a really, really cool setting, I would definitely recommend giving this one a go as well. Where Oceans Burn by Casey L. Bond is not one that I own. I have only read the first book in this duology, but I enjoyed it. It's really different. It has winged like creatures that are essentially at war with the creatures of the ocean, and they are humans, but it doesn't really say that they're like fae, and they have different rituals and things, and it's such a different story. I did struggle some with the writing, but once I settled into that, I thought that it was really well done. It's presented as enemies to lovers, but I won't say that the romance is actually enemies to lovers. Once you get in it, it's more like, it's not really reluctant allies either, but it becomes more of like a friends to lovers type romance, and I actually really enjoyed the way that it was done. I need to continue on in this duology and finish out the last book. A quick questionable honorable mention is The Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields. This is a duology. This one is actually the Fairy Loot Romantasy edition. I'm hesitant to recommend this because it's very not what I normally like. So if you come to my channel looking for recommendations because we have similar taste, I don't know that I would recommend this one to you. It is very smutty. I did not love book 2 as much though, so this is why it's kind of a tentative recommendation. If you like a lot of spice in your books, then maybe give this one a try because it is very, very spicy. It is pretty dark in the ending, but it's definitely different than what I normally love, so that's why I wanted to tentatively recommend it to the certain reader. Okay, so now for a couple of books that are on my TBR that I really want to get to that I found out were duologies as well. The first is a young adult duology, and that is To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. I really don't know a lot about this book. This edition is beautiful, but I never hear anybody talk about it. It says, in a world of darkness, become the nightmare. I believe we may be following a male lead because Jude Maddox knows nothing of love or light. He only knows the grim duty as the hand of death. It says, it will betray their senses. It will surpass their nightmares. Most of them will die, but they have no other choice because the only way to fight the darkness is to become it. Sounds really interesting. I love a good young adult romantasy when it's done well, so I'm excited to pick this one up. Another young adult romantasy that I really want to try again. I didn't get very far in this when I picked it up originally, and then kind of everybody that I was reading it with was like, I'm not sure about this. The Bonesmith by Nikki Palparetto. I don't know. There was something about this that I was enjoying but not loving, so I do want to revisit it at some point. The final book in the duology just recently came out. It definitely gives me fall vibes, and so I'm hoping to pick this up soon. It's about necromancers, I believe. It says, any moment now the trial would begin. Wren's heart thundered in anticipation. If she passed the trial, she would serve for life as the Valkyrie of the House of Bone, which I think is like the necromancer warriors, for lack of a better way of putting it. So this one is on the TBR, and then the other one that I have is These Hollow Vows. I did not realize that this was a duology, but it is a fae young adult romantasy as well. Lots of young adult romantasy on my TBR that I don't know a lot about, but I have heard really good things, and so I'm excited to eventually pick it up as well. Okay guys, so those those are all of the romantasy duology recommendations that I have for you. I need more of these, obviously, so please, 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 if you have any recommendations for me, leave them down in the comments because I'm just dying to read more of these. And some books that I don't even realize that I've already read are duologies, so if there are any, please let me know down in the comments below. If you guys want to check out any of my other recommendation videos, I will leave it on the screen for you. If you just want to let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave me a butterfly for the Heartless Hunter. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!